an investor to build wealth or as a source of income. And while I've been in the business and I've done well and I've built some wealth on my own, it takes a certain person who can help you on that path. I think you need somebody who's your leader, a coach, or mentor, who has a system, a process you can follow. And third is a community of people that can help you join on your path. One person I've had the privilege of meeting along the way who's helped numerous people learn how to invest in real estate and build wealth is Sam Sadat. Sam, thank you for joining our call today.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. The feeling is mutual. I believe you've done exactly the same thing. I hear a lot of good things about you. People say they learned from you, and you've been a good mentor to a lot of people. So I guess
Thank
it
you.
takes one to know one. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, it's not that I don't help people. I believe I do, but I don't formally help them on an overall path and process in the way that you do. I think that's the distinction I want to make is I participate in, like you, the LA County Real Estate Investors Club and meet new investors all the time. And I want to be one of the people to help them. But you've really taken on the job of really showing people the path to build wealth. So go back in time. How did you launch Sam's Real Estate Club? What was the impetus behind that caused you to start that program?
Okay, make a long story short, was back in January 17th, 1994. I'm pretty sure you remember the day that will live in infamy. That was the Northridge earthquake in Southern California, in which I actually lost my beautiful home in Santa Monica that I had paid $1 million for back then in 1990. And I also had apartment buildings in Sherman Oaks that, unlock, I guess my luck, that one also got destroyed in the quake. So I basically packed up, having no earthquake insurance, and banks basically froze all my lines of credit, the whole mess. But I thought that maybe it was the best thing to just get away from it all. So I packed up my family. We moved to Colorado, and that's when I decided to do some soul searching. I wanted to know, instead of blaming the universe, God, myself, or anybody else, I said, well, let's find out what the lesson here is. What is my lesson? What am I supposed to learn from this adversity and crisis? So I went and did a sort of like was it about three months of hiking and living like a homeless person in the mountains of Colorado with a good friend of mine. And we basically lived like a couple of cavemen, so to speak. I mean, it's literally, we had a couple of tents in the middle of nowhere, and we just go in there and wash ourselves in the river, and then just get the basic food that we needed, and they were delivered by another friend, so we just basically eat that. I lost a lot of weight. I meditated like crazy. All this time, my family was all set up at the home that I had just bought over there, so they were all there. Luckily I had saved some money. But when I returned from my trip, from my sort of hiatus, something happened to me. I mean, I realized that all the running around and the pursuing the success, all of that, it was all for me. I realized that I'm here not just for myself, but for other people. I truly saw myself having a mission that I need to do something more, something that can really help people, not just for me to go out there, make money, do real estate transactions, and put in my pocket, and go to the bank, deposit, take trips, all of that kind of stuff that we all kind of get wrapped into. But the soul searching was valuable because I found out that what I needed to do, and I always loved teaching. So I said, okay. As soon as I got back, I wrote a book about mortgages. I started going to real estate clubs. I don't know if you remember, if you know Bill Bronchick in Denver, Colorado. He invited me. I did several presentations at his club. And while I was doing my mortgage business, buying properties and all of that, but when I got back into California, we returned to California in 2003, I started my club. Immediately, I started my real estate club because I knew what my mission was. And I think the biggest lesson for the audience is, you gotta love what you do and do what you love. You gotta figure out what it is that you want to
Yeah.
do in life.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's not about money. Almost all the time, it's not about money. It's about something else, the result of which will bring you the money. I mean, it's that kind of thing. So that's when I got in and started teaching, mentoring other people, and truly it's been a very nice and rewarding journey for me. Phil.
So Sam's Real Estate Club today, that was the journey where we started, and your goal was to help people. Today, tell me about Sam's Real Estate Club. What is it? What do you do with it? And how is it a service to people who are interested?
Basically, we started back in May of 2003, so it's been over 20 years right now. We've never missed a monthly meeting until COVID. And when COVID happened, the pandemic, we decided to basically go online. So we started doing our Zoom meeting like a lot of other organizations. And when the pandemic was finally over, I kind of liked the Zoom idea, but I wanted to also have a networking environment. So we decided to do two Zoom meetings every month and one mixer. So instead of having a traditional meeting, like a club meeting, association, real estate association meeting, where a whole bunch of people sit, somebody comes in and talks about what they've got, and tell you all about the cars and the planes and everything else that they have, and at the end they want you to buy a whole bunch of stuff. What I decided was to create a true networking environment. So every quarter we do two Zoom meetings and one mixer. The mixer is strictly networking. We have a little bit of education. We bring in people that know about different facets of real estate, like the one on June 7th, Wednesday, June 7th, which is in Santa Monica at the penthouse of the building that I'm in Santa Monica. They come in. It's a beautiful environment. It looks like a club, and we got a bar, and we got wine, we got cheese, we got all kinds of good stuff. People basically drink. We do some education, but I want people to mingle. I want people to get to know each other. I want people to shake hands, to look at each other, and make friends and form partnerships. And it's been really, really nice because it's a limited venue. We only have about 40 people we can fit in. I know if I get a bigger space, we can get more people, but I kind of like that intimate environment. So they come in, we mingle, we talk, we network, and we talk about real estate, and it's been really good. And this month, I mean June, we have a foreclosure expert. Actually, I wanted Lloyd to join us, but Lloyd had another engagement and he wasn't able to do it. So I had to invite somebody else to come in and talk about foreclosures.
So just real quick, housekeeping. This is the LA Real Estate Investors Podcast. We do this every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And you can see all the details at lareic.com. Great event. Every first Thursday of the month in the Culver City area, we get together, about 250 people. Fantastic speaker. Then we have a vendors expo. Before that, this month, this coming Thursday, a week from this Thursday, Brad Sumrock, who's just nationally known as an expert in multifamily, will be the speaker. Thursday night, June 8th, 6:30 to 9:30. Get there early, and we'll get a chance to see you where's the picture of the vendors? I always get the wrong picture up.
No,
But I want
Brad
to
is
show
good,
it.
and he's been to our LA Grand Expos every year. He's really
Yes.
good. He knows what he's doing.
He's like a big keynote speaker, does a really good job,
Yeah,
and
he does. He
really,
does. He's good. He's all around. He's a good speaker. Yes, I agree.
particularly in the multifamily space. A lot of people are interested in investing in multifamily, and that's really
You
his
know that,
specialty.
speaking of the multifamily, I think probably that's the only sector of commercial property, 5 units and up, that is not going to be hurt in the next within the next few years. Because as you know, we've got about $1.5 trillion of commercial loans that are going to be coming due within the next couple of years,
Right.
and a lot of these office buildings, particularly office buildings, are going to be hurt. I think when the time comes that to reset their loans, they're no longer going to be able to get 2.5, 3%. Right now it's 7.5, 8%, that kind of thing. So it's going to create a lot of a lot of hardship for a lot of apartment building owners, and particularly commercial office building owners, because that's going to be a tough thing to refinance from a 3% to a 7% or more.
I think you're right, but in multifamily, that's where I've invested my excess money has been in multifamily because
Yes,
there's not enough housing. People have to live
that's right.
somewhere. As long as it's a well-managed property and in a professional organization, we should be good. So let's talk about people getting started. A lot of people that I meet starting their journey, they have a job, they make good income, but they want more. They live on less than they make, so they have excess money, they want to invest in something. Yet they're scared to get started, and I'm sure you see that regularly. So, what's the path you recommend for people to get started in investing their excess wealth into real estate to build long-term legacy wealth?
I mean, everybody is different. Everybody's path is different. But typically most people kind of start first. They realize that they want to make a change in their lives. They realize that the job that they've got is never going to get them where they want to go. So they say, okay, what am I supposed to do? And a lot of people gravitate toward real estate because they feel that it's something that they have control over. I mean, you invest in stocks, mutual funds, all top, the cryptocurrency, all of that. We know that a lot of these investments, although some may be good, but you really have no control over it, Bill. You cannot be in charge of your own destiny. Whereas in real estate, even when the market falls apart, if you're in a good position, if you're in a positive cash flow position, you can keep your property. You can bring in a partner. Okay, you can sell your property. You can do anything you want to. So that's why a lot of people like real estate. I think for an ordinary person who wants to get into real estate, I think the first and foremost, Bill, I'm sure you're going to concur with that it's important that they actually have an affinity, and liking for what they
Yeah,
get into. It's not
yeah,
just because Joe Schmo down the street got money, you made money in real estate, so I'm going to jump into that arena. Maybe I make a lot of money. Do you like it? Do you enjoy real estate? It's something that you have to have some sort of an affection and affinity for it. Once you determine that, I think the best way, and I'm sure Bill, that a lot of people try to do things by trial and error. I think the best thing they could do is attend one of these mixers meetings, like Lloyd's, like mine, like any of these other associations, and listen to some of the speakers, hang out with other investors, kind of share their experiences, listen to what they've gone through, the successes, the failures. And once they really determine that they really want to get into real estate, instead of trial and error, they need a mentor. I mean, that's the bottom line. I know, I mean, our good friends who probably remember Phyllis Rockhour. She's the one who started the club that Lloyd currently owns. She used to say, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. That was her thing that she was always used, and it stuck in my mind. When I returned from Colorado to LA, I used to hang out with her quite a bit, and she used to always tell me, says, Sam, people don't realize that they spend so much. They think they're spending a few $1,000s to get a mentorship. They have no idea that without a mentor, they can go into a bad deal and lose, instead of a few hundred or a few thousand, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, just because they really didn't know what to do. So the best thing to do is get a mentor. And the thing that I recommend to everybody: start small. Okay, you don't have to jump into a multifamily, even if you have a lot of money. What you got to do, start small. Maybe a residential property, maybe a condo, rent it, fix and flip, do a wholesale, which is something that we like to do over here. Or maybe get a partner so that you can mitigate your potential loss over there. Get into something small that you can handle, that you can deal with, and then gradually, once you gain experience, then you can do things on your own. But some people I know, they say, hey, I don't want to deal with landlording. It's a pain in the butt. It is true. It is a pain in the butt. That's why one of the things that I decided to do after I kind of like did my thing with landlording, I realized that's not my game. One of the things that I wanted to do was to basically get involved with syndications. So we along with a lot of other people that we know, our friends, we syndicated a lot of different apartment buildings. And you can invest in an apartment building syndication. You own a little bit of share in every one of them, but believe me, they add up. Every month you get a distribution, and then every month, every quarter, every month, you get a little bit of money on every one of these little properties or big properties in which you have a little investment, and it adds up to quite a bit of money. And most important advice I can give to people is when you buy real estate, don't sell it.
Mm.
Every time you sell real estate, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg, and you essentially you seem like you made a lot of money, but you really don't. If
Mm.
you buy real estate, try to hang on to it as long as you can, and try to be getting into a cash flow scenario that will take care of your livelihood many years down the road when you're not going to be able to work as much as you want to. I mean, I'm still working. I love to work. Even if I'm 80, 90, whatever, I still, as long as I'm healthy, I like to work, but I'm not going to work a lot. I work now 4 or 5 hours a day. I enjoy it. I don't really have to, but I think working it is a good thing. It will keep your sanity. I think the person who cannot work is not a happy person. You can have a lot of money and you can go on a lot of trips and travel and this and then what? What is your purpose in life? Find that purpose.
I think if you love what you do, it's not work. It's just you're doing something you love to do, and you get paid. And I also think if you're helping other people, that's how we get paid. So that's the
Exactly.
measure of what we do. Yeah, well, that's
Exactly.
great. That's great insight. Shout out Mark Pedrosa on the chat. Feel free. We changed our format. We used to have a Zoom call, and we now stream this live to both YouTube and Facebook. So if you're watching this live, feel free to put comments there, and I'll watch them. I know Mark Pedrosa is a good supporter of the program. Hey, Mark, how you doing? And he made a point of saying his mentor is Rick Harmon. Rick Harmon is an expert on probate and trust estate financing, and he has a great podcast called The Gordian Knot. I also follow him as a mentor as well. So I do think it's important to have a mentor, and I think that's kind of why I did this program was I don't have the systems to mentor somebody in real estate investing. I can help answer questions. I'm glad to be of service. I'm glad to do what I can when you have a problem. But a mentor is more than that. A mentor is available regularly. A mentor has a system you plug into, like Sam has. And so he's one of those people who I've seen who can offer somebody that mentor relationship as they go down the path. I see you also, you and or your organization at the LARIC event as well. Explain how that ties into, I know you have your 2 events a month. How does that tie into your program?
Uh, being doing joint ventures with Lloyd
Hmm.
Siegel. Oh,
Hmm.
well, Lloyd and I have been friends for about 20 years. I think he was one of the first people that came to my real estate club when I started it back in 2003. So we've been friends on and off, used to do stuff together, and we bought some properties together after the Great Recession. But with last 4 or 5 years, we decided to do the LA Grant Expo. I'm sure
Hmm.
you may have not been there because I know
I
you
was at
don't.
one, we did it on a Sunday during COVID on December
That's
at the
right.
Skirt Ball. It was
Ball.
amazing. Now
That's right.
I can't go on Saturdays, but I went to it. It was really fantastic.
I know, I know. I was just about to say because you can't go out on Saturdays, but it's been really fantastic. The LA Grand Expo this year is coming up on October 21st. Again, it's Saturday. Sorry, Bill. It seems like Saturday is the best day, but he and I push powers to each other. I was at his boot camp, foreclosure boot camp, just last Saturday, past Saturday, and I invite him to my events, and he always calls me. He calls me professor. He calls me mentor. He mostly calls me for spiritual or sort of like a positive mindset reinforcement advice. I'm kind of like his guru when it comes to in that particular area. He he is he's a foreclosure expert. There is no doubt about it. He knows the area really really well, and he's a good mentor. He's a good teacher as well. And we plan to do a lot more of these events together. The Grand Expos, and I want people to know this year it's going to be on Saturday, October 21st. It's going to be in West Los Angeles. If you check my website at samsrealestateclub.com, we have a banner for that. You can just RSVP for it. It's free, free attendance. It's an all-day event, and it's going to be a good one. We hope to have you guys over there. We have, like, last year, we had 12 different speakers from all over the country, Bill. And it was incredible. I mean, I wish you could go out Saturdays, but I mean, it was amazing.
It's a fantastic event. I feel sorry I can't go. Everybody who goes loves it, and I think one of the things I just want to point out for everybody watching is, in some worlds, you might think that Lloyd and Sam are competitors, and in some respects they might be, but they do spend a lot more time, at least as I see it, as colleagues in working together. And same with me, to be honest, because they say in real estate that you can go fast by yourself, but to go far, you need other people. And so by working together and collaborating, and personally, I talked to Lloyd about promoting Sam. You might think, well, Sam's program is competing with Lloyd's. No, they're just two. One's chocolate, one's vanilla, one's strawberry. And you can maybe have 2 scoops and one of each, or just have 1 scoop, take your preference. And I think that both of them I feel very good about recommending. And I have 2 really good friends who are in your program, Sam, and they're really excited about it and have had a lot to say, a lot of good things about it. I've known other people over time, but I'm a real estate broker, and I have 2 agents of mine who are, or one's an agent and then the other's a spouse, who are in your program, and they participate and love it. So I think a lot of it.
I mean, your metaphor was beautiful, Bill. Talking about, some people like vanilla, some people chocolate. The people that operate from scarcity, they're always afraid of competition. They think there is, like, limited resources in the world. The God that I believe in, the universe that I believe in, there is no scarcity. It's abundance of everything. Okay, from the leaves on the trees to the sands on the beaches, to the galaxies and the stars in the universe. There is no abundance. I mean, there is no scarcity in the universe. It's all abundance. And if you operate from abundance, then this competition thing goes away. Because just like what you just mentioned, some people connect with me, some people connect with Lloyd, some people connect with you. It's not like everybody likes everybody. It's not that way. People connect with different people based upon their belief system, based upon their habits, based on the way they look at the world. And that's why Lloyd and I always believe in that sort of like sharing of our resources. And when you do that, more things come to you. The more you think that you're going to be in your little bubble and that you don't want anybody to step into your, in your territory, the more you're going to find that abundance is not going to come to you. The more you share your resources, the more you're out there with people, the more you connect with people and you allow them to share with you, the more of good things of life come to you. I mean, that's my philosophy. That's the way this is.
Well, and also, I think also the more people you talk to, the more opportunities you have. That's why I go to Lloyd's event. There's a lot of people there. That's why I talk to you. I talk when your classes. I didn't get paid to do it. I'm glad to talk about real estate with as many people as I can. That's how I find opportunities. That's how I grow. For those of you watching, feel free to put questions or comments in the chat box. We'll get to them. I have 2 great questions to get to, Sam. Number one is, interesting about not selling real estate and holding it as long as possible. Describe a little more your philosophy as to why you shouldn't sell property, but you should look for property that you can hold really forever until it pays off.
Yeah, when I say don't sell, I don't mean like don't do a 1031 exchange. Clearly, if you can do a 1031 exchange and get your triplex into a 10-unit apartment building, by all means, that's good. But generally speaking, you and I both know that real estate is not a commodity like that you can cash or they can readily be exchanged for money. It's something that will gain value over long periods of time. Okay, 10 years, 20 years, obviously, something that you bought for $300,000 10 years ago, right now it's worth about $700,000 or $800,000, especially in Southern California. So the philosophy is, if you hold your property, you can always refinance. Okay, if the value of your property goes up, it will appreciate. Your principal is reduced over the years when you make your payments. Now that you have a ton of equity, you can actually refinance and pull cash out of that property and buy another property with it. The beauty of real estate is when you borrow against your property, Bill, I'm sure you know that, you don't pay any taxes. It's borrowed money.
Right.
And I mean, isn't that absolutely fantastic? Here
That's
it
fair.
is. Property you buy for
Beautiful.
300,000, keep it for 10 years. It's worth 700,000. Your loan now is 200,000. You got a $500,000 equity. You pull out $250,000. You don't pay a single dime on taxes. Take your 250, buy another property to cash flow from. I mean, it's not a rocket science. You continue doing that with a few properties when you start off. Okay, given the idea that you're like landlording, and believe me, I mean, some people really do like it. You can get a good property manager, but let's assume that you like that. If you do that when you're in your 20s, by the time you're in your 60s, you're probably going to have 10 or 12 properties. Most of them are going to be close to free and clear, and you're going to be sitting on with the way the rents are going up, you're going to be sitting on a ton of money every month for which you're doing very little work. I mean, isn't that the path to retirement? Isn't that the best path to retirement?
That's what I'm working on. That's what I'm working on for sure. I think in multifamily, I like the idea that somebody else is working on that. I just get a check every quarter with from the partnership. So that's exactly I would agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Another great question from Luis Loyola says that he's currently looking for a mentor. How do you know if somebody would be a good mentor?
I mean, it's hard to tell. That's why a lot of people have to, maybe try, one mentor and then another and another. Typically, what I do, I basically, look at the reviews, especially if you don't have two or three reviews. If you have 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 reviews, and a lot of people are saying this guy is good and he's a good mentor. And if you want, you can even ask for some references for some of your students. Let me talk to them. And I think that's the only really organic way to find out whether or not somebody is a good mentor. But it's like finding anything else in life. Sometimes you think someone is good, you do join them, but it doesn't work out. But it doesn't mean you have to quit right there. Just find another one, because even if the mentor is bad, I'm pretty sure you're still going to learn something. It's all about learning. It's a learning process. Through the learning process, you're going to be able to apply your knowledge. You're going to be able to meet other people. To me, every bit of energy that you put into this in this universe is always going to come back to you. I mean, from a physics standpoint, I studied physics and engineering at the University of Texas in Austin. The first law of thermodynamics states that no energy in the universe is ever wasted. It's only transform itself from one form to
Ooh,
another.
so
Okay, so the energy that you put out right now by giving out 500 business cards, you think it's wasted? What did I do? Just 500 business cards? Believe me, every one of those little business cards carries a little bit of energy that you're putting into the universe, and if you wait long enough, it's going to come back to you. It has to. It's the universal law. Okay, it's like gravity. You cannot defy that. You throw something up in the air, you know for sure it's going to come down. Okay, it's just like that. You put out energy in the universe, it will come back to you.
I love
So
that because I tell people all the time in real estate, your goal is to talk to a lot of people. Eventually, you find opportunities or people to work with. And it's not necessarily the conversation you're having, it's that you're in conversation that something comes out of the universe. Like you say, that's just the universal principle and it makes sense. It's just right out of physics. And really
yeah,
well
I
said.
mean,
And I'm going to brag on you a little bit. I think you're being very modest here. One way in my, and I'm not signing anybody up as a mentor. I don't do that. It's not my business. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just not set up to do it. Sam is, and other people are. But Luis, what I would say to anybody who asks is, you go meet the person that you want to have as your mentor. Sam's available often at Lloyd's program. Sam's available at the LA Grand Expo. He has a low tier price, medium, and higher tier price. You can start low and add in services. Meet him yourself and make a judgment. To me, when I find these mentors and coaches who I can't even, it's so funny, some I can't get on the phone to interview them to promote their program when their staff has asked me to do that. They're so secluded, and Sam is available. To me, that's the proof of the pudding. He's willing to be available. That holds him accountable to not cheating people, in my opinion. And so I just want to say I appreciate your personal commitment to the business. I see you most of the time at Lloyd's event and other events. I think that's really where you stand out and Lloyd stands out.
yeah, I mean, you put your finger on it, Bill. Accessibility, availability. like you said, and many of these mentors are not available. I think just something came to me. One of the ways you choose a good mentor is to at least choose a mentor that's local. I mean,
Yeah,
trying to find a mentor in Florida to teach you how to do real estate in California, that
yeah,
is not going to work.
yeah,
California is such a unique market. I'm sure every market is unique, but this is such a unique market that if you have somebody who thinks they're the best in Texas, believe me, that strategy or the way they think or the way they approach it is not going to be what we do here. So the first thing I do if I want to choose a mentor, where do I want to work? Where is my turf? Is it Southern California? I want a Southern California mentor. Is it Texas? Then go find a Texas mentor. Okay, the locality. Like remember that bumper sticker a long time ago, Bill? You probably saw it on the bumpers of a lot of cars. He said something like, "Think globally, act locally." Do you remember that?
yeah.
I mean, your thoughts could be in the realm of global, could be universal. There is nothing wrong with that. We're supposed to think big. You're supposed to be ever expanding all over the universe, but your actions got to be local.
Right.
I'm just amazed at people that they haven't even done anything in California, and they go and do something in Idaho, for example. All of a
Yeah,
sudden,
yeah,
yeah, a few of them do make money, and it's going to be good, but the majority of them are going to end up losing money.
yeah.
We remember the hits, but we miss. What do they say? Remember the hits and forget the misses. Okay, so meaning that, yeah, just a few people, a lot of people just basically lose money, but only a few people that have made money, we hear about it. But the locality and the people, the mentor that you want to work with, being local, like Bill said, accessible. Can you get them on the phone? Can you meet with them? We're here in Santa Monica. My office is in Santa Monica. We also have an office in West Covina. Oh, speaking of that, Bill, we're going to have a real estate club starting in West Covina for the San Gabriel Valley.
Oh
And I'm
wow.
happy to have you as our guest. It's going to start July is our 20th. July 20th is our first meeting in West Covina. It's Greater LA RIA. So it's GLA RIA, GLARIA.com. And that's going to be in West Covina to help the community, in the San Gabriel Valley, starting in July 20th. So
Wow.
a couple of people in our club that have volunteered to help us, and that's something that another venture that we're gonna start pretty soon.
Well, that's a sign of growth, always is a good sign. And there's another sign of success for the right mentor that I want to add again on you as well, which is I want a mentor who's still doing this. When I see coaches who tell you what they did 3 years ago and 5 years ago, the world changed 3 years ago. The world changed 5 years ago. It's not the same business. If you're not doing it today, you don't know the business. I'm in probate real estate. I coach agents, not as a professional coach. I mentor and I work with as a mastermind real estate agents in probate specifically. I can speak to it because I did it today. I was on the phone this morning and I'm coaching at 11 o'clock. This is what's really working. In your case, you're really investing money today. You're lending money today. You're coaching people, but you're actually got your fingers on the pulse of this market today. You're not like in some retirement program where you're traveling the country selling your coaching program, but you're not using it anymore. I think that, to me, that's the side of the mentor I want to work with, is somebody who's involved in the business with me today.
Yeah, you got to be. I mean, you got to be, like you said, you got to have your finger on the pulse.
Yeah,
You got to be involved. We loan a lot of money. Personally, I loan. We have a private money division. We loan a lot of money to our fix flippers for fix and flip properties, or people
wow,
that are in trouble. They want to get out of trouble. We know that they're going to be able to refinance in 6 months, 8 months. We provide the funds for them for short term. Given the ability to fix their credit, to make sure that now they be qualified on a conventional loan, and they can refi and go away, and they'll be very happy. Okay, this is the essence of helping people, being able
yeah,
to make their lives a little bit better,
yeah,
any which way you can.
yeah. Another great question we have from Elaine, who's a real estate agent. He says, how do those of us who don't have a large client network get in front of clients to demonstrate a value? It's a great question. It's kind of like, well, When's the best time to plant a tree? Is a Japanese saying, right? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. And so the first thing I would say, I'm interested in hearing your answer too, Sam, is start with who you have now. You don't have a large client network, you have a client network. Start with that and add to it every day to build it. Go to the LAProbate event, meet people, add to it. Go to Sam's events, join his club, meet people, add to it. If you just did that in a year or two or three, you'll have a large network, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well said. I mean, hey, listen, Bill. One thing that I, it's sort of like it's really not it's a disservice, or it's how should I say this concept of emailing? Okay, it is such a deceiving concept in terms of you deceive yourself in essence when you think you're marketing by sending out emails. First of all, most of your emails are not going to get to their destination. A whole bunch of them are going to end up in the spam boxes. A lot of them won't even get delivered, period. Okay, you have a database of 20,000, you're lucky 2,000 people, essentially get your emails. The best way to expand your database, to expand your zone of influence, so to speak, is to go out there the old-fashioned way, to meet people eye to eye, just like we said, Bill. Go to the networking events. Okay, when you meet people in an elevator, have a short pitch, like an elevator pitch in 10 seconds. This is what I am. This is what I do, and this is how you get it. This is what I teach people. You only have three things to communicate with people. Hi, this is Sam Sadat. I'm in the private money business. Okay, and this is how you can get it. This is my business card. May I have your business card? Take that business card, go put it in a database, send an email or give them a call better. Okay, hey, remember we met on the elevator. This is what I do. Can I send you more information about what I got? That's how I built my database organically.
Yeah.
Okay, when I started it back then, you know that, Bill, we didn't have internet 20 years ago when I started the club. I used to
Right.
use faxes, but most of the time it was one-to-one,
Yeah.
one-on-one, going into different networking events, meeting people in different occasions, at the parties, even if it's like a social occasion. My business cards are always here. Here's my business cards. May I have one of yours? The problem with people, Bill, is they don't ask. Okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's like the ask and thou shalt receive. It's such a overused concept, but very few people actually do that.
Right.
I see people walking in and talking to me, give me a great presentation, and at the end they fail to see, hey Sam, can I have your next business? Would you give me your, let me take a crack at your next loan, or at your next, whatever services you offer? I mean, they don't do that. If you don't ask, how are you supposed to get? It's a miracle some people actually make a living without asking. I don't know how that happens, but they never realize their full potential. If you really want to realize your full potential, you have got to ask, you have got to knock, you have got to seek. Those are the three golden rules that help me get started. Okay, and those are the basic elements of building your database.
I've been in the business 36 years. I relaunched my business 4 years ago. And I I had friends and family, but I had them all in a database and kept in contact with them. But I made a point of meeting people every day. My goal was to meet two people every workday because I realized in 250 workdays a year, that's 500 people a year. I have more than that. I actually have now 70,000 people I've met in the last 4 years because I do one-to-many events like this. Once you start getting momentum, and so Elaine, I would say just commit to starting. I'm going to put it in the chat box if you're interested. I'm glad to talk to you individually. I coach real estate agents on how to build their business, and I'd be glad to maybe share with you some time on how we can do it one-on-one, and I have some specific, ideas for real estate agents. And I said for anybody, it's about building a business, not chasing a commission check. Once you realize your database is your business, then you start looking at how to build a network of people that you create value to all the time, and that's how you get paid back regularly with transactions.
Right, you're as valuable as your contacts. So the more contacts you have, the more valuable a human being you become.
Yeah,
Uh, and what you said, just having a business card in your hand is not enough. You need to establish that contact. The moment you establish that contact, the moment the energy starts flowing and going to that in that direction, believe it, the energy is going to come back to you. Not necessarily from the same person. Like we said, energy transforms itself and moves
Right.
from one location to another, but it
Right.
will come back to you. There is
But
no doubt about it.
But if you go to the Lyric event, you can meet one night 50, 100 people. You go to Sam's event, you can meet 40 people at his club. And so you do a couple of those events a month. Next thing you know, you have hundreds of people that you've met and are adding value to. Mark
Yeah.
Pedrosa says he's in NorCal. Actually, I know he's in NorCal. But he says he's going to make a trip to LA. Mark, we'd love to have you come down anytime, man. I'll buy you a beer. I do an event the first Thursday of the month for real estate agents in Mid-Wilshire. Love to have you for that. Or if you want more business, the second Thursday is the Lyric event or one of Sam's events. But if you come into Southern California, please let me know.
Yeah.
We've been working there for a while.
Look us up. Would be, I mean, Sam's Real Estate Club. Just, remember Sam's Club and just add real estate in Google. I'm gonna pop up. We've got we've got great reviews. We've been doing it for 20 years, and we're local. That's what we do. We're just local real estate right here, and we do have VIP memberships, and those are basically mentoring programs. And like you said, Bill, we have 3 levels. They don't have to start at the top level. You can always start at the bottom level and gradually kind of upgrade yourself.
I like that they can start, with a bit and learn and add and add. I don't mean to, downsell your product, but I'm just saying if you're not ready to make a full commitment, get started. But get into action, go to events, meet people, and over time you'll build some business.
Yes.
Jackie asked a great question, which is how valuable have CPAs been to your business over the years? I would say in the past, I got great referrals from CPAs. Any CPA recommendations? I went to Lyric's event and one of the sponsors is Robert Hall and Associates. They are specialists with real estate investors and real estate professionals. I hired them as my CPA firm. I'm embarrassed because my son-in-law runs a CPA tax department for a wealth management company. And I haven't changed over yet because Robert Hall's done a really good job. They've really taken care of me. They really know real estate agent business. They know real estate investors. So I would say Robert Hall and Associates, and Jackie, when you reach out to me, I'd be glad to give you a personal introduction. But they've been good to me. Sam, do you have any particular recommendations for tax advice for investors or real estate professionals?
Yeah, Robert Hall and Associates. I mean, they come to my club too. They, they every year they do a presentation for us. Are you using them yourself?
Yeah.
You
They
like
do my
them?
taxes, and I do. You know what? To be honest, they do my taxes, my personal, my corporate. They also do I pay to do a end of the year tax strategy. I also paid to have a consult with them on kind of organizing my business because for years I was just an agent and I really wasn't acting like a grown up business. And I really got it all done, and I feel like I want to buy their expertise. So I do meet with my tax professional. Probably 2 or 3 times a year, and then they do my taxes, and it's been fantastic. It's really been one of the great stress relievers. Is planning ahead makes the process a lot simpler for me, at least.
Right. Are you dealing with Tony Watson over there or any specific person?
I know Tony. Now he's a little high for me. I'm not quite at that level. Mike DeLusso is the rep that goes to the Lyric event, and then what's the name? My tax preparer there is Maria. My taxes aren't that sophisticated. I think it was just more a matter of me. They have a system where you do an intake and then you sit down with them and then they walk you through. And then once everything was set up in QuickBooks, I wasn't even using QuickBooks. Once it's all set up in QuickBooks, I get a monthly report every month. I review with them, like I said, in December. I know where my numbers are at that point already, so it's all pretty much done. And we make some decisions on how much to put into retirement and how much I put into other investments. And it really, the first year was a lot of work. The second year and third year have been really just, kind of going with the flow.
Right. And another thing about real estate is obviously, one of the great advantages of real estate, tax benefits. I mean, where else can you get this incredible tax benefits? There's no other strategy that I know of that gives you tremendous tax benefits like real estate,
I'll share with you, my preferred method is as a limited partner, just because I run a pretty active business and I just don't have the bandwidth to stop and get into real estate decisions during the day as much as I should. So I use limited partnerships. I try to vet good deals. And so the first time I did it with them, they did my taxes and I wrote a check for $50,000 as an investment. And that was in December. And I got a 1099, a loss on paper of $41,000 because of the what's the word I'm looking for? Depreciation. And so,
Yes.
it's just a paper loss, but the $41,000 translated like to a $13,000 or $14,000 cash of my $50,000 investment back right away in the tax advantage. It really reduced my risk once I realized. So if I invest 50,000, I'm really only investing 36, because and theoretically you could lose the whole thing, and you'll get tax write-off. Not to say you want that to happen, but that's the worst case. You're going to get some of it back on taxes. It made me more comfortable to make more investments. So I have to say, having a tax preparer walk me through that and showed me my return, here's where that money shows up. Because I'm a real estate professional, I get all that tax benefit. It was fantastic.
Right, especially when you're a real estate professional. You're not a passive investor. You're actively involved. You have a lot more benefits in that. That's fantastic. One of your people, I think Candice, is asking if she can do a 15% down for a hard money.
Now see that comment you saw.
Well,
The other comments, you don't see them. You're not a technology guy. I don't know. I'm a caveman. All of a sudden, somebody's asking about a hard money loan, and you're like on it like a falcon on a field mouse, huh?
just on top. Besides, it's a lady, so I like to answer ladies' question better than I like to answer the guys' questions. So, Candice, yes, it is possible. There's some hard money lenders out there that will do that for you. We do at least 20% down. Okay, but you don't have to jump through a lot of hoops. I approve the loan. We get it done in a few days. Give us a shot. And then hopefully we'll be able to work with you.
I will say that when I have customers who come to me with hard money lenders packaged, and oftentimes the ones that have great programs, like, only 50% down, they're so tight in the appraisal, it's the same as a 20% down on a reasonable appraisal. So good question, Candice. Hey, if 20% will work, give Sam a call. He does he has a hard money company within his company. So I can recommend him highly as a good source for that.
Yeah, that's, we'll definitely help her out if we can. Okay. And if we cannot, we'll definitely send her the right way and, give her the right, referrals.
Fantastic. Also, the chat box got busy there on YouTube. Thank you guys for participating. Appreciate the participation. So if you want to get in touch with Sam, go to his website. Do you want to give out your phone number, Sam, or Candice?
Yeah. Sorry about that. The phone number is at area code 310-909-9188. 310-909-9188.
There you go. Hopefully we made a deal here. Candice, if it works out, come back and tell us. If it doesn't work out, come back and tell us. I'd like to know the truth. I'm sure it will. But let's do some business, hopefully, and that's what we're here for. Okay, so look, I think I'm caught up with all the questions. Any other questions you guys have? Feel free to hit the chat box. If you're watching on YouTube, we've got a bunch of people on YouTube, very active there. Facebook, not so active.
Denver Nuggets, somebody says. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I'm all for that. I lived in Denver for 6 years. Those were some of the best days of my life because, like I said earlier today, I basically hiked the entire Rocky Mountains in a period of 3 months, and I walked for days for miles and miles and miles. Colorado is truly one of the most beautiful states in this country. I mean, I truly love the Rockies. I just love Colorado. And hey, now that the Lakers are gone, go Nuggets. I'm all for that, man.
Well, hold on for a second. Mark Pedroza, I seem to remember you being a big Bay Area Warriors fan. What's this with the Go Nuggets? I think
the Warriors are gone.
Yeah, but you can't just jump on another bus. You got to stay at your bus stop and.
Why not? You can have the first. You can have your first favorite, second favorite, or third favorite. So his first favorite was Golden State Warriors. Not that they're gone. He's going for Denver Nuggets. I'm all for that.
It doesn't sound like a very committed fan to me. I don't know. It's just where I come from. So okay, Mark, thanks for jumping in. Appreciate it. Candice, nice having you in. And for the rest of you, any other questions? I just want to do just a quick run through one more time. Hope to see you guys a week from Thursday on the 8th, the second Thursday of every month. It's in the West LA, Culver City area, and it's the monthly event that we do. And this month's guest speaker, Brad Sumrock, is going to talk about, in particular, multifamily investing, which is I know a lot of people are very interested in that. Come at 6:30. I'm a vendor there. Come by and say hi. I actually do a live cast while we're there to get people online as well. And then Sam's realestateclub.com, samsrealestateclub.com, and he has mixers, and he has events, and he has a YouTube channel, and he has a mentor program. So go ahead and check all that out. And let's see. Krista asked about the Ventura County area. Actually, I do believe that I know for a fact Lloyd, the same program that we're sponsored by, has a Ventura chapter called VCRealEstateInvestors.com.
Yeah.
And they're the Wednesday before the Thursday. So a week from tomorrow, the same event in LA they have in Ventura, and Brad Semrock will be there as well. So if you're in Thousand Oaks, drive over Ventura County and check that out. And if you're there, please say hi to Lloyd. I won't be there. I'm there at the Thursday event. But Krista, hope you can make it there and have some fun.
Yeah, that's the best place. Yeah, that's the best place to go. The Ventura County Real Estate Club. Yes.
The best place is Santa Monica, Sam's Real Estate Club. Sam, thank you so much for sharing your experience and your wisdom today. We really appreciate having you. Thanks for helping people in our industry. Really appreciate what you do, and look forward to seeing you soon. Okay.
Thank
and
you,
Sam also has amongst the best looking grandkids in the world, not the best, but I think he has the second best and a few more. He and I share pictures, we get together on our grandson. So it should bring you much joy.
Thank you so much, Bill. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. And for the rest of you, I'm Bill Gross. We do this every Tuesday at 3 p.m. This is the LA County Real Estate Investors Club. We get together every Tuesday, 3 p.m. to talk about all things real estate investing. Come to our live event. We do it on the second Thursday of the month in the Culver City area. Check out the details down below. I'm Bill Gross. I'm the live caster there at the event as well as a vendor. Hope to see you.